I saw Free Guy last weekend, and I was very disappointed in this movie. Apparently, this movie has been doing very well at the box office. I mean, considering the current situation that the world is in, and a lot of people seem to have liked this movie, but I just found this movie very difficult to sit through. I won't get into any spoilers for this review, but the movie is basically about a non playable character, or NPC, named Guy, played by Ryan Reynolds, who, unbeknownst to him, is living in a video game called Free City. Guy ends up developing a mind of his own and falls in love with a female video game player, and he joins her on her various antics while she looks for evidence in the game that the creator of Free City stole her and her friend's algorithm for another game that they developed. Now, what did I like about this movie? Ryan Reynolds is adorable in this movie, and the first 20 minutes have some pretty funny moments. I mean, just the image of seeing Ryan Reynolds casually strolling down the street and wishing his friends a great day while, tanks and helicopters are blowing up buildings in the background in this video game world it's pretty funny to watch at first. Unfortunately, that gag kind of wears thin and it loses its resonance. There is also a very funny cameo by Channing Tatum in this movie, and I always appreciate a good Channing Tatum cameo. But that's about as far as my positive opinions of this movie go. Now, for what I did not like about this movie, I mean, even though Ryan Reynolds was likable overall in this movie, his character is basically a ripoff of Will Ferrell's Buddy the Elf, and with a little bit of Emmett from the Lego Movie mixed in there. For example, like Buddy the Elf, he really likes sweet foods, and in Elf, it was syrup that was his favorite food, and in this movie, Guy's favorite food is bubblegum ice cream. Like how Buddy the Elf is always wearing the elf outfit, Guy is always wearing the same clothes every day, and we get to see that tired joke of, seeing the movie character go through their wardrobe to decide what to wear, and everything in the closet is blue-collared shirts and khakis, and man, how many thousands of times has that has that joke been done in movies? And also, like Emmett from the Lego Movie, he wakes up every day and says hello to his pet or his plant, and does the same routine every day, which includes getting coffee and saying hello to everybody in the neighborhood, and he strictly needs to follow the rules of the game, and you get the point. I was also really disappointed with the action and the humor of this movie. I mean, outside of the humor of seeing Guy trying to navigate this clearly dangerous world while he's maintaining a happy smile, which, like I said before, which wears off pretty quickly. There aren't too many memorable gags in this movie beyond the Channing Tatum cameo. The action is not very interesting, which is unfortunate because the movie takes place in a video game world, and you imagine like the infinite possibilities that you have for weapons and vehicles and the manipulation of physics, and all we get in this movie are some pretty standard gunfights with a couple of roundhouse kicks to the face, and then riding a motorcycle through a CGI glass window. I mean, there's really nothing exemplary that uses uses this open world where you can do anything and make any action scene you want, and they don't run with it. The movie is relatively low budget, so the special effects are kind of corny looking, but at the same time, it works in this movie because the movie takes place in a video game, so no issue there. The movie also gets really boring in the middle. I mean, instead of this movie focusing primarily on this crazy video game world, a large portion of this movie takes place out in the outside world, where the main male and female human protagonists are trying to bring down the creator of Free City by proving he stole their work. And they have these long, drawn-out conversations about the legal methods they can use to win their case, and some of the techno-babble about what their algorithm can do, and just throughout the movie, I kept asking myself, like, my goodness, how long is this movie? This movie's going on forever, and I thought this was supposed to be an action comedy. Instead, we're just doing a lot of talking. I would say my biggest problem with this movie was how seriously it took itself. I mean, based on the trailers, I was expecting a somewhat raunchy, over-the-top action comedy, kind of in the tradition of, I don't know, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, like the Jump Street movies, where it's just everything is so sarcastic and exaggerated. And I was hoping that it would make fun of video game culture, but this movie takes video game culture very seriously. Like this movie wants you to know that video games are serious business, and people that play video games are serious people, and people that watch people play video games are very serious people, and video games will change the world. It's also annoying because the movie assumes that everyone in the world watches people play video games for fun, and throughout the movie there are guest appearances, like they show montages of famous Twitch streamers, I guess. I've never seen these people or heard of them before, but I imagine that's what they are. So they have several montage scenes where these Twitch streamers are describing the viral events of this video game, and the actions of Guy in the game are being broadcast on international television. Like they show newscasters being like, "Oh, a a video game character named Guy is taking the world by storm, and he's going viral for his action." And I'm just like, in what world would this happen? They also show a lot of scenes of people around the world watching the events of this video game on their televisions. Like they show a whole bunch of 80-year-old Asian men and women in a rundown noodle bar watching this video game on live television, and then it shows a scene of like poor village people in living in a tin roof hut, and they're watching the game being played on their tiny laptop. It's just so weird. Again, with regards to the movie, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not gonna sneeze. All right. Going back to the idea that this movie takes itself too seriously, is that this movie tries really hard to find a moral of the story, and the morals that they try to convey are all really weird, and I don't know. They really want you to be a better person. It's weird. Like, for example, in the movie, Guy goes around doing good deeds in the video game in order to level up, and people in the Twitch community are reacting, and they're shocked and inspired that a player would go around helping people by returning stolen money and returning stolen cars and such, rather than rob banks and get into gunfights with the police. And then the Twitch streamer will say something like, maybe the world would be a better place if we all treated NPCs with more respect. And it was just so cringy how seriously it took itself. I mean, this movie should have been a crazy action comedy with, really sarcastic and over the top, made fun of video game culture, but instead it just idolizes video game culture. And I don't know, it wants the audience to know that playing violent video games is wrong, that, artificial intelligence are legitimate forms of life, and it's a form of murder if we delete artificial intelligence. And weird, yeah, I can't say weird enough in reviewing this movie. So I would not recommend this movie. I mean, maybe if it's playing on TNT at 2 p.m. on a Saturday while you're vacuuming the living room, maybe you can go ahead and watch it, but I would definitely not spend money on this movie. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments below, and I will catch you next time.